assets loaded. We're going to open up the empty scene from, it's just in the scenes folder, and I've also dragged in this prop blast door. So I dragged two of them in here, and I set them up each a little bit differently. When you drag it in, there are some components on it that we need to remove. So I removed the box collider, the hinge joint, and then the rigid body. From there, I'm going to delete that. So from there, I added in a empty game object. So I'm going to zoom in on that. So I did a game object, create empty, and then I put it as a child of the prop blast door, and I positioned it. The reason I did this is because the pivot is right here in the center, and we need to move it. So I put the pivot down here at the corner. It's actually at X is at 1.062, Y is at 0.79, and Z is at 0. Then I dragged the actual blast door, which is part of the prefab, as a child of the game object. So for the game object, I added this hinge joint component, and I set the position at 0, 1, 0 for the anchor, and the access is 0, 1, 0. Just have this auto configure checked. These settings are fine. And then use limits, I turn that on, and the min is 0, the maximum is 105. I put 105 because I don't want the door to open further than that. And you can actually see right here, you might not be able to see on the video, but there's a little orange arrow that's pointing up, and that's your hinge. I'm going to put a link to the Unity has a video of how to do joints and stuff. From there I added a box collider. I set it up, and notice we're on the game object, so I set the box collider up to -1, 1, and 0. The size is 2 to 0.25. From there I went in and I created some animations. So you go Window, Animation. I'll do a real quick one just so you can see how to do it. So I just do create a new clip, give it a name, put it under animations. It's a lot easier to follow it. You can call it closed door, open door. So for here I added a curve, transform, rotation because we're rotating it, and then we're rotating it. So the first one is we start at 0. Actually I'm going to put it right here at much closer so it responds quicker. And add a keyframe, change the rotation to 105, which is the same as what we had on our hinge joint. And I'm going to get rid of this last keyframe, delete. So if you look at it, notice it rotates on that hinge. So that animation's done. From the animations, one thing on opening door, you want to make sure that it's not looped, because if it's looped, it's just going to keep going through it, and it's pretty silly looking. So you turn that off. So the ones we're using on this that I created for this one is I created this closed door animation. Gonna go back to our game object. So I've got the closed door. So basically it's just the door stays right where it is, and then I have the open door, which is what we just looked at. So you edit your animator. I actually created a new animator and called it right swinging door. So you create an animator, drag it onto here, click over here to your animator. The first one, so the first one we start with is a closed door. So if you right click it and set it as default if it's not already orange, and you'll see it has the animation that we created. And then we want to right click and make a transition and drag it onto the open door. The open door is just the open door animation. You can just actually drag it over here. I created a parameter. I call the parameter open door. It's a boolean. So you just go boolean and call it open door. It's important to, whatever you name this, that you write it down. So for here, to go from closed door to open door, the transition is open door equals true. And since we're either opening the door or closing the door, we're just going to transition right back, open door equals false. So if I go back to my game object, I did the Playmaker editor, actually right clicked it and created a new FSM. So the first one we're doing, it's just a waiting state. So this waiting state, go from start to waiting, so it's just going to sit there and do nothing until someone clicks it. And then we are going to change. I created two events, so I've got closed door, I've got open door. For the state, I added a mouse pick event. I changed this ray distance. I just made it 10. You could change to whatever you need to. This is how far away the player is from the door itself. For mouse down, you go to open door. It does it every frame. And then we create another state here, and it's called door open with a finish transition. So I created a set animator bool, which is actually, that's one of the, if you don't have these, then you haven't loaded the Mechanim animator add-on from Playmaker yet. So it's under animator, down to set animator bool. You add that, and then the parameter that you type right here is the same one from right here, from the animator. So this talks directly to the animator. We're going to turn the value on, and then we're going to wait. If we don't have a wait here, it's going to loop through this transition really fast, and it might turn your FSM off. So I do a wait of 1. When it's done waiting, it's going to finish. This end state is the same as the open. So we've got an open, and over here we're waiting again for mouse down, close, and then we're going to go to the close. Close, it's exactly the same as the open except for the value. So to open it, we turn the value on. To close it, we turn the value off. If I hit play, so you see it's waiting. Click it, it opens, and it's waiting, and it closes. And that's pretty much it. For this door right here, I didn't add any animation, so it's just you walk into it, which I really don't like. And then this door over here, it's exact same setup, except for I have an animation on this door, animation on this door, and if I click it, it's going to open, and the animator is exactly the same. There's actually a trigger here that is just over the center, so if I click it again, it closes, and then there's a different box collider on each door, so you can't walk through them. And that's it. Next video, we're going to go over UFPS in case you have Ultimate FPS.